What's going on, traders? It's day number 18 at the $5,000 account challenge. We're up $718 on the day. It should actually be quite a bit more, but I took a losing trade and a winning trade, so let's jump right into it and see what happened. Apple, long idea, above $231 originally. That was the trade plan, but because of the pre-market high pushing a little higher than that, I moved the line up to 231.5. And then after the open, I saw the resistance up here actually at 232. And so I said, hey, we're going to take an entry when this breaks 232. And then I went back on my word, and here's what happened. I think I got too micro-focused on the 1 minute time frame. I'm watching this run. I'm watching it reject at 232. I'm watching it pull back, and I told everybody, I said, if this starts to get bought up, if this dip off 231, because that is the prior resistance on the daily, if that dip gets bought, I'm going to take an entry to run this up to and through the high of day. I broke my rules here, and that cost me because I was entering at this time off of the bounce on the assumption that it was going to break and go, and that doesn't happen. This rejects 232, does not make a new high of day, sells off, and I actually wind up cutting this trade for about a 12% loss. Not the worst thing in the world to take a 12% loss, and it could have been much worse if I had held on to it just even one more minute. But what hurts here the most is not the loss itself, it's the execution on the trade, because this does wind up breaking $232 later and running, and I did mention it on the break of 232. I mean, this doesn't look like much, but if I was able to lose 12% over here on that such small of a move, then surely we would have been able to get a pretty decent amount of profit over there, even on this small move or on the re-break of the, at this time probably would wait for a break of the high of day, but on the re-break of the high of day. So Apple becomes a losing trade, not down bad, 12%, like I said. Loss was managed there, and then we move over to AMD. AMD was a long idea above $181. Now this opens up and rips beyond 181, and then it gives you a 3-candle pullback and goes again. And then I'm like, this whole time I'm waiting for a dip, right? I'm waiting for it, doesn't dip far enough for me. That dip gets bought. I'm waiting for a dip, this dip gets bought. I'm waiting for a dip, this dip gets bought. And so I was like, by this time, like, you know, let's just buy the dip and see what happens. And so I purchased this dip here as this was getting bought back up to the high of day, and kind of the same trade where I'm just entering under the assumption that this is going to keep going. And it doesn't happen. It rejects and pulls back. Now, in this scenario, I did mention to size down, and I was sized down. And by staying sized down, I was able to hold through this pullback. I scaled into the trade at 183.5 because this is your prior resistance, should act as new support, right? It doesn't happen. It dips even lower. But here's the deal. Because I was able to get such a good average on my scale in, I moved my stop loss down to the next previous low. So this did not make a lower low below this low. It did not hit my stop loss, though I was down on the position. We get a break of the downtrend trend line here. I should have added more to the position, either there or there. I was talking about averaging back up into this trade. I never did that, and then we get the rally to the high of day and eventually through the high of day. Now, this was a 20% gain on this move from the average, right? Because when we average in, our cost basis lowers. So our average up to the high of day gave us a 20% profit on AMD, which was enough to negate the loss from Apple and put us back green on the day. So day number 18, up $718. And I'm not the only one that's doing this. You've got members like Gurpreet, who was down 150 on Apple, but made 300 on AMD, and they're net green on the day. We got another member right here, Seaburks, took a 10% loss on Apple, 18% win on AMD, and net green on the day, and not by a little bit. I mean, they're up. These members are up hundreds of dollars. This member right here, QB, down 51 on Apple, up 131 on the day, net green. What I'm trying to show you with this stuff is that risk management is important. Cut those trades the moment that they do not work. Take the easy loss, because one good winning trade can make up for that loss, so long as the risk is managed. That's it. That's all that I have for you on today. Day number 18, up $718. Hope you enjoyed the video and the content. And by the way, if you want to trade live with me, I trade live every single day for the duration of this challenge. What I'll do is drop a link in the description of this video. Start at any time with any amount. You don't need $5,000 in your account to start trading with me. All right, thank you for your time again. We'll see you tomorrow for day number 19 of the $5,000 account challenge. Cheers.